Hi Cancer, welcome to your unexpected reading for money. Everything you need to know about this reading is in the description box below. This is intended to be a romantic love reading, but it may resonate in other areas of your life. Also, this could be represent yours or your person's moon, rising, or Venus sign. Represent or resonate? Well, you get the idea. Okay. All right, Cancer, you're unexpected. We got unexpected for me. What is it? Page of Pentacles. All right, I like it. High Priestess. Okay. Pisces or Cancerian. Magician. Gemini, Virgo, or Aries. Three of Wands. What are you waiting for? Chariot. That could be you, Cancer. Temperance. Oh, gracious. Major changes. Okay. So, like you're incubating. What does that mean? Why? There you are. Queen of Cups. Okay, is this another reading about yourself, like you, which is fine, but I think the last one was about like solely focused on you. I think it was you and Libra or you and Pisces. It was just like the reading was about you, not really about any romantic entanglements or whatnot. So, all right, what's this Magician about? What's this Magician about? Oh, okay, Judgment. Cancer, Scorpio, or Sagittarius. Queen of Cups about. What's this Queen of Cups? Some of you could be dealing with another Cancer. Okay, Lovers, Gemini, Taurus, or Libra. Holy cow, Cancer, you're going through some heavy duty stuff. My hunch is that this is a very private thing. So even if you are, partnership with someone, the internal shifts that are going on, you're very private about. Gemini, Taurus, or Libra. What's this Three of Wands about? Oh gosh, Two of Cups. Okay. This is not a bad reading. This is you choosing to move forward in a relationship. You're either ready to start looking for one and put yourself out there, or you are actually going to consider deepening what you have. Or like this is you. Okay. Temperance. What's Temperance about? 10 of Wands. Whoa, Cancer. What are you doing? Working too hard is what you're doing. Need a break. Look at that. Need a break. This is working too hard and needing a break. Oof. Priestess. And honestly, because look at how many major arcana here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then look at all these. I mean, this is there's a lot going on here. Internally, fine. Intuitively, spiritually, energetically, emotionally. It's a lot. Hierophant, that could be Taurus. So this is this you feeling like, okay, I'm still learning a lot, still don't know what's going on, I'm still kind of trying to learn and set the bar and what I want? Or is this you having had established this is a new relationship for the Cancers I'm reading for, a potential or for new relationship, and you two are learning each other and it feels right, and it's kind of like you're taking it as you go. There's trust. Getting some water because my voice is going to crack any second now. There's like a couple of scenarios here. Scenario number 1, this is a new relationship. You've met somebody, taking it as it goes. You feel a strong connection to them, but time will tell. You realize that this is going to be the final stage or step in getting you past situation you've kind of been thinking about and hung up on. It's going to be pretty pivotal. It's going to be pretty pivotal in moving you forward, but you also have to show up for that connection. So this is about feeling that connection, feeling someone you're very connected to, and being willing to move forward, looking out to the future and seeing that, you know what, this is a possibility. Checking off the list, all the checks and balances, like making sure you have the green light, like being very careful and liking your chances and going for it. You have been working very hard otherwise. This is new. You have the stability and security that you want, that you're able to provide for yourself now. You know you can trust that about yourself. You can lighten the load a little bit. You can back off on how much output you've been doing for your work or your job or your career. That needs to be brought back into balance, because I think there is this part of you that did that so much so that you could kind of move through some grief and sadness or just some difficult situations before. And things are up and running now, and you can do it differently. You can work smarter, not harder. you can move things around a little bit, hours, whatever, whatnot. But that it's with this new relationship coming in, or this new interest in a relationship, um, there can't be room for both. So something's going to have to give, otherwise the gears are going to come grinding to a halt, and it's going to make you give. Like you're going to need to stop something because you'll either get sick or too tired, or you're going to jeopardize it somehow if you don't take the time you need to bring things back into focus and balance and harmony. Okay, so that's scenario number one. Scenario number two, this could be someone that you still feel quite the psychic, spiritual, and energetic connection to, and they're recently going to reach out, or they have recently reached out, and recently going to. They could be reaching out, have reached out, and you're thinking about, do I want to do this? I don't want to do this. There's still a love there and a connection, but is it viable? And you might surprise yourself, or your person, the surprise is they come back in and offer, and you're like, yeah, I'm up for it. I like our chances. I'm looking out at the future here, and I'm like, you know what? I could see us in the future. Consider that this might be the same workload that it was the last time, that it's going to be a lot of effort to maintain the peace and harmony. This person, you might decide they're worth the effort. Fine. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it. You want things to progress, they want things to progress. Fine. What I think, after giving those two scenarios, I think this is about you wanting to be ready for connection. I don't think this is you being connected to anybody. For the Cancers I'm reading for, there's those two scenarios. But for the Cancers I'm reading for, what this feels like is you have made a turn, you've turned a corner, and you're wanting to start to pursue connection again after like a long period of rest and recovery, and kind of going through something and putting all the pieces together mentally and emotionally, relying heavily on your intuition and what feels right, and trying to understand, and just you're kind of coming out of that sort of withdrawn cycle, and you're now wanting to create and go and do and see what's out there. It's time. And so you haven't done it yet, but you're interested, and for some of you may actually meet someone, but this is you actually kind of aligning yourself before you put forth the effort. I think you're wanting to find, it's like you kind of distilled down the past into all the good parts of the relationship or relationships that you've had, and you're like, okay, I want this. It's like you know what you want, and you want to go looking for that. You're not just going looking, you want to go looking for what you want. And what's showing here is that you find it. Get ready. Incoming. So here you are doing all the checks and balances, dusting yourself off before you leave the house and make sure this and that, whatever. And there's almost this realization of realizing it was that simple all along, because you actually find it. You find somebody that is on the same page and wants what you want. And I don't think it's so much that you're tickled about the person, is that you're happy that you still got it. You know what I mean? Like that you can still go out there and find connection, or that there's still someone out there for you. There's something about feeling like you're not too late, or like, oh, this isn't as hard as I thought it would be, or oh, this is a lot easier or better than I thought it would be. There's relief here. There's a feeling of relief. So I think because you were kind of assimilating or still kind of working through some things, trying to put all the pieces together to figure something out, and to figure out how to put yourself out there, it's almost like it happens rather quickly, and then it kind of puts you back to square one, like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. Oh my gosh, it was that easy? What have I been doing all this time? That time was needed. Like, you needed to be figuring things out. You weren't ready. There's no sense in putting yourself out there if you're not ready. You waste your time and everybody else's. But this is you kind of sticking your toe into the water again, and then guess what? Somebody owns the pool and they want to know your name because they want to get to know you, and you're like, oh, I don't know if I'm ready for that. I just wanted to see if it could happen. And yeah, so it feels like, shocker, somebody else is interested. You get not just one nibble on your toe when you stick it in the water, but like, and you go back to the drawing board. So, okay, there's validation there because, yep, I'm ready. Go back to the drawing board. But next phase is figuring out what you want. Because I don't think you expected that response. I don't think you expected the interest, or you expected it to be that easy. And you're for the Cancers I'm reading for, you might feel kind of like, oh my gosh, this is this is kind of weird. I don't know if I want to put myself back out there. It's enough that there was interest shown. I think I want to go home and think about it some more. So this is you being ready, looking at things, and then maybe not wanting to, but at least putting yourself out there, beginning to start to be open, beginning to start putting yourself out there, that sort of thing. So, but aside from all that, you do need a break. Just saying, you do need a break. I think this is you've been keeping yourself very busy, and which is great, and it's great that you keep that it serves as something that makes you feel secure and provides for yourself, and you're stable. That area of your life is fine. It is not going anywhere. So you can lessen your load a little bit, just because you don't want to be overrun with just constantly having to work. And if you're wanting to be open to connection with someone, you can't have this going at full steam ahead, because there's not going to be room for both. Not with the energy that you give to the job or the work, or whatever you're giving your energy. It's a lot. And it takes a lot out of you, and there wouldn't be much room for a connection anyway. So basically what this is you kind of are thinking, you know what? I just want to see. I want to get back out there. I want to see. You do. You get some hits, like people return interest, and you're like, whoa, back to the drawing board. Because now it becomes about thinking, okay, well, what do I want? I know I want these bits and pieces and parts of this, but is that possible? And how do I go about attracting that type of person? I don't want to attract the same type of person I did before. And these are big questions. Why? Because we got a lot of major arcana here. This isn't just someone who's been dating for a while and kind of, this is not a light reading. This is pivotal. This is you being ready. For the Cancers I'm reading for, this is you being ready after a long time of not being ready and not having even any interest. All your focus was on earning that money and working yourself like crazy. And that's why I think the Hierophant and the religious folks showed up here, because you're needing to kind of back off on that. Give yourself a break. Let things come to stability and balance. So the interest is there. No one in particular that stands out, because I think you're just like, and you go back, figuring out what you want. There might be a physical relationship. Okay. Ace of Wands. Well, okay then. Could be one and the same. That this could be that new beginning that you kind of like, whoa, that was really quick and easy. I'm not sure I'm ready for, And because there is that interest, though, that you want to pursue, maybe not, back to the drawing board, that's all the more reason for you to kind of ease off a little bit on your work schedule. Because this cannot flourish or thrive while you're still just miles and miles to go before you sleep. There's no room for this. This does not have to take the priority it used to. For the Cancers that I'm reading for, you're over the hump, and this right here, all of this work is going to help you figure out what you want and what you want to do next. But you're not in the review stage. This is you coming out and dipping, coming out of your shell or emerging, shall we say. You're not dormant anymore, passive. I'd say not. Chariot. That's for invite serendipity. I hear she brings good appetizers. Fitting. This good, yay. Because this is, again, you being open to the possibility of finding someone. And oh my gosh, look at surprise, shocker, you do. All the more reason to lighten the load for yourself. This is saying to be open. Because when you are, magical things happen. I think it's twofold. I think you weren't ready for interest to be returned, and for it to feel right and feel so easy, and just to realize I haven't really skipped a beat, or I've just been out, but I'm back, and it's the same as it ever was, and it's a question of what I want, not who's interested in me or will they be. It's a question of what do I want. Because for the Cancers I'm reading for, there's interest, and I think it's been a while since you felt something very strongly or even been interested in feeling something. And you want to make sure that you're doing this the right way, because you don't want to repeat past mistakes that led to a lot of trauma and drama. So this is like you dipping your toe in the water and being really like surprised and shocked and excited and encouraged that there's interest. No one in particular is showing up here. I'm going back to the drawing board. And then dipping your toe back out again. It's like this kind of like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? This is exciting. I don't know what to do. But you're open to it. And there's this wanting to make sure you're doing it right, though, because you don't want it to be dysfunctional or codependent. You don't want it, as much as you can mitigate, You certainly don't want the type of connection you had prior to this that you needed to take a break from the whole dating scene for a while. So yeah, this is you figuring out, and so as much time as you spend figuring out and trying to figure out what you want, there's actually movement forward towards what you think you want. So this is kind of shocking in how easy it is or how seamless and streamlined it seems to be. But don't discount that, because that effortlessness is because of your due diligence in the past, in reviewing the past and trying to let it teach you from your mistakes in the future, and also because you're guarding your choices. You're being very strategic and careful about what you're doing. You're not just running blindly in and letting it overtake you and have fun, because then you end up in a relationship you don't want to be in 3 months, and you feel trapped and stuck, and it's just weird. This is like figuring it out as you go and making sure that it feels right first before you go any further. This is due diligence on doing things differently. But I'm honestly, can I just say, I'm encouraged that there's this right here, because for the longest time, the cancers that I was reading for, there was no interest. You were just kind of holing up and wanting to take care of yourself and don't anybody come near me. And this is being interested again, and people showing up because you're putting it out there. You're interested. I'm like, okay, so I guess it would be like this, wouldn't it? Oh, what did no, I don't want anybody from your past coming back. I don't like that. I don't want, because the cancer that I'm reading for your past was kind of a jerk. So I don't want somebody from your past coming back up. Maybe that's reversed. Maybe that's not. No, that's upright. All right. So when it's like this, I turn it like this. So this is Page of Wands reversed, and this is your past. Okay. All right. So this is you kind of running back to the drawing board, being like, there's enough of an interest, enough for me to think about. So I don't want to do anything yet. This reminds me of like the albatross landing. It's like it's been a while, so all of a sudden, coming in for a landing or putting yourself back out there. When the albatross lands, good Lord, it does not nail the landing at all. It kind of like crashes and smashes and cart flops all over the place. And then, a mile after this horrendous skittering down some path, it uprights itself. Landings are horrible. and there's false starts, and there's delays. This reminds me of that. This could be somebody coming back from your past cancer that you're like, nope, I like that. I prefer that. That no. It could be that they come back in and then there's anger and frustration and harsh words, or just that you realize very quickly this was a bad idea. So it could be that. I don't like that. I mean, I do like that. It could be that after all of this review, you put yourself out there and you're kind of like, oh, and you go running back to the drawing board. You just wanted to see, you got your evidence, it's time to go back. But I don't think you're going to stay hidden. I don't think you're going to stay confused. You're kind of like, oh, what do I do? I think you're going to want to get back out there, but you're going to be careful. And this is you stopping it if it doesn't feel right. If you don't feel called or led, or if it doesn't, after all that you've learned and been through, if it starts to feel wrong, it doesn't feel right, it doesn't meet your standards, or if you feel like you're putting yourself in emotional jeopardy, you're putting a stop to it. You're setting up boundaries. So I like that, truly, because that makes all the difference. If you trust yourself enough to pull yourself out of a situation when it stops feeling good or comfortable, or you're in jeopardy, if you feel like you can handle anything because you can trust yourself, you have good boundaries. You know what I mean? So I think this is kind of experimenting with that this month in March. Experimenting with putting yourself back out there, which it happens, and then boundaries and just what works and what doesn't. If it is somebody from your past coming back in and this, it looks like there's delays, if not an outright no. But then we have the Chariot here in the Four of Wands and the Three. This is like this whole connection thing happening, but right here it's like, oh, there's going to be delays. So I don't know. I don't want it to be the jerk. It can be somebody else, but it can't be the jerk. I don't want the jerk. Anyway, lots of options there. But this is you moving forward in the romance area because you're ready. It's time. But you're guarding and monitoring your choices along the way. Okay, awesome. And it's based on what feels right. It's based on how you feel. And you're choosing based on that, not what somebody else wants or how they. It has to feel right to you. Big shift. Okay, Thank you for stopping by, Cancer. I hope this was helpful. I'm very glad to see this because you're putting yourself back out there. You're not dormant anymore. You're healing and you're moving forward. Good for you. Really. Ready to get back out there. I hope to see you in the next reading. Thank you for stopping by. Much love and support to you this month. All right. You take care.